Alrighty, in this video I want to show you how to create one button. Maybe we'll even add some animation to it and then duplicate the button so you can use in multiple spots on your site. Sort of like this right here, right? So I come here. I'm on the panel that I want. You scroll down. I'm going to click Add, Elements, and Button. Remember when you choose a button, or an element, you have to actually drag it over versus just clicking on it. So I'm going to click on this one right here, and I'm going to drag it right over here. First thing I notice is the button's kind of small. You can see right here this blue line and this blue line. That's sort of the borders of your website. So if I put 3 buttons there, it would look kind of small. So the first thing I want to do is increase the size of the button. So I click on it, and I just drag it like that. Okay. Next thing I want to do is work on the background color. So when I click on it, I can come over here and I can click background, and I can choose my colors right here. Okay. So that's the background cover and this color, and this is the background color when you hover over it. I'll just make it slightly different. Okay. So I think that makes sense right there to you. Now I'll scroll down a little, and this is the text color when you hover over it. So you notice the text is white right now. If we ever hovered over it, it would turn blue, but we want to also change that to white in this case. Okay. So that's the button right there. And if I want to hit preview, I really should have just saved it first, but you can see, let's see if it's saved actually. Give me 1 second. Okay. Always hit save. Okay. So now if I click on the button again, I'm editing the button. We just did the background here. Then the border. I don't do a lot of borders on buttons, but you could. You have these 4 options right here, and I'll just show you an example. And I choose a color by clicking in there. Well, and oh, good. I'm glad it did that. I'm clicking that button in the color again. Hello. Right here is the transparency button. So always notice if you're doing something with a color and nothing happens, always go back and look at this right here. And for some reason, this one opens transparent, but you can now see the button changing colors. I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to bring this back down to 0, and I'm going to hit none. I'm not going to use a border. Round borders. You already know this. I'm just going to change these to 10 just to show you. We already went over this once, but you can see I have small roundness to them now. I'll click back on the button, and I'll type in 100, and you can see that 100 is larger than 10, so all it does is increases the roundness of the sides, right? So there's that. Headline is the text. So let's go look at here. And let's see. Let's just say I am still doing Mountain Brook Village. So I would come back over here, and I would click on the headline, and I might type in Mountain Brook Village homes for sale. And I might increase the font size. Or not. You can leave it right where it was. And then if I come back over here, I'll notice that I have a subheading or subheadline. And I usually put in opens in a new tab if that's what happens. Opens in a new window, not tab, window. And I'm looking at it, I can see it there, but it's blue. So I might change the color. Something's up with my mouse right now. And I just make it white. And there's that. Let's see. Let's click back on the button, make sure I'm on the button. I could adjust the font size if I wanted. Now shadow is one that I tend to use a lot. So if I want to increase the shadow a little bit, you'll see that this is, H stands for horizontal. So see what happens when I go left and right on that, it shifts it left and right. Vertical, V for vertical. Just watch the button when I'm doing it. B stands for blur. So see it's solid under there. And you could blur it a little bit if that's what you choose to do. And then S is size. And you can see that it just increases the size. I could also change the color of it. So you see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to do that for this example. And I don't know about clean and inset. I've never touched those buttons. So now, let's click back on the button and click on animation. And there's some options. Do you want animation to start at a certain time, when the button is visible, when you click it, or when you hover it? Sometimes I like the hover, because when you hover over it, it shows that the button is actually active, so there's something really to do there. And then under effect, there's a whole bunch of these. And I just suggest testing them. And it shows you a little example down here. You can see it pulsing right there. If I hit flash, you can see it flashing. And in this case, I'm going to click wobble. And you can adjust the speed and for how long it lasts. And let me just hit save. That's fine. I'm going to go to the website when it asks me. Go to site. Give it a second to load up. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And you can see the button there, right? So let's just pretend that was the look I was happy with on that button. I'm going to go back to the editor. I'm going to hit close. Let's just double check, see if there's anything else I could do down here. Okay, I don't really do anything down here with tag configuration or advanced mobile yet. We're going to talk about mobile in a little bit, but we're not going to talk about it right now. So now, if I go back to the site that I'm trying to duplicate, you see I have homes for sale. I have just a button for just listed. And in this case, I had 2 homes for sale. And that was only because there weren't many homes in the neighborhood. So I'm going to make 3 buttons here. Mountainburg Village homes for sale. Mountainburg Village just listed homes. Mountainburg Village homes with pools. Then let's see, Mountainburg Village is in Gold Canyon. So I'm going to do a Gold Canyon homes for sale. I'm going to do an Apache Junction homes for sale. And I'm going to do a Queen Creek homes for sale. So those are the buttons I'm going to do first. But now it gets kind of cool. So all I do is I come here, I click on the button, I click clone element. And there, I have another button. I'm going to click on it again. I'm going to click clone element. And I have another button. So the first thing I suggest doing is taking those 3 buttons, click on the center button, and then just click center element. Now that's centered, and now I can just align the 2 buttons here next to it, right? I'm going to do the same thing 3 more times. I'm going to hit clone element, position it where I want it. I'm going to clone another button. And I'm going to clone it 1 more time. And let's go back to the site we're duplicating. I think there's 2 more I could do right now. Yeah, so I could do home value. And I could do recently sold, right? So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to clone it again. Position it like right there. I'm going to clone it again. And Let's go look one more time. Then I have a larger button for search the entire MLS. So this is kind of cool. I can just click on one of these. I can click clone. I can bring it down here. I can position it here. But now I can grab the resizing handle and I can bring it over like that, right? Okay. So this button, the words are exactly like I want. This button, I can click on it and then I can come down to headline and I can type in Mountain Brook Village just listed homes for sale. You can see it's right there. I can go to this one now and I can go Mountain Brook Village homes with a pool. Or I could go homes. I could go Mountain Brook Village pool homes for sale. Now here, I can change the text on this one totally and I can go, oops. Gold Canyon homes for sale, and click on this button and I set Apache Junction. Homes for sale, and I can go to this button and I said Queen Creek. I can come down here. And this one was the home value button. So let's see what words I used. Your Willows area home value. In this case, I might go your Mountain Brook Village home value. I don't know why that's coming up. I'm hitting the delete button. I'm holding it down, so that's just a little glitch right now. I think it shouldn't really be doing that. And then this one, I might go Mountain Brook Village sold homes. You know what? I'll go Mountain Brook Village past 6 months homes sold. So I think those are good buttons on a community website. And then here, I type in, I keep doing that. I type in the entire MLS. I could say search all homes in the entire MLS. Okay, so that's how I did it. What I did is I spent a little bit of time formatting my first button, put some text in there, pretty much formatted it exactly like I wanted. Then I just hit the duplicate button as many times as I wanted, and I positioned them. And then on this one, I actually duplicated this button, but I actually even adjusted the size. So this video went on for a little bit. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you what I do to add links to all of those buttons. Thanks, and see you guys soon.